Hi, everyone. Ruth George, and I'm continuing with my casual conversations. And today I am joined by Colleen. Hi,
Hi,
Colleen.
I'm Colleen O'Connor with Trinity Life Solutions. We are an independent insurance agency specializing in Medicare.
All right, so we are talking Medicare, which is part of estate planning. We want to make good, informed decisions in regard to Medicare options. So, Colleen, can you tell us about Medicare parts and also penalties?
Sure. Original Medicare is Part A and B. Part A is the hospital portion, and that is what you paid in with payroll taxes when you were working. Part B are the doctors and medical services, and that is when you enroll in Medicare, you end up paying the premium for. It is required to pay that premium if you want to have Part B. And then the other part that's required is Part D. That's not part of original Medicare, but it is the prescription drug plan that was passed at a later date. And you're required to have that as well. If you don't enroll in those Part A, Part B, and Part D, when you are initially eligible, there could be a penalty if you choose to enroll at a later date.
Okay, so going back to part A, we need to make sure we have a wage earner who has worked 40 quarters or is otherwise eligible. Can you just review that?
Yes. Again, you pay in it with the payroll taxes. This is the one place in Medicare where it's not individual. If you are a married couple and you are a stay-at-home parent, the other parent worked, you get credit for what they paid into the Social Security system, into the Medicare payroll taxes.
Okay, and what about certain professions where there could be exemptions so that they would not be covered under Part A?
There are a few that when Medicare was first passed that were given the option to opt out of Medicare when they first became employed in that profession. One was ordained clergy, another farm workers, but that's less common nowadays. Most people who are entering the workforce choose to be part of the Medicare system.
Okay,
So
and
it's
then
less of an issue.
okay, part B, if you are still a wage earner and you perhaps have private insurance through the place that you work and you forget to enroll or decide, oh, I don't need to, I'm still working, tell us what could happen in regard
It,
to penalties.
sure, it is a valid consideration. If you receive employee insurance and your insurance is really good, or you have a spouse that also needs to be on that insurance, who is younger than you, then when you turn 65, you don't want to get rid of that employee insurance. As long as it's considered credible coverage, you are okay without having a penalty, and you can enroll in Medicare Part B when you do leave your employment. But you need to make sure it is credible coverage. And your HR department should be able to tell you whether that's the case. Just as a clue, high deductible plans are probably not credible coverage.
Okay, and part D, can you run us through an example where there is a penalty concern and what that could look like for somebody?
Sure. Often when someone turns 65, they get original Medicare Part A and B, and they have to pay the premium for Part B and decide, well, I don't need Part D at this time because I'm not taking any prescription medications. And then when you try to get it maybe 10 years down the road where you have a prescription now, when you enroll in Part D, you will have a penalty. So if you are eligible for Medicare and you enroll, you need to have the prescription drug plan as well, whether you take any medications or not.
Okay, and what about part C? Round us out and tell us about that.
Sure. Part C is considered the Medicare, it's called the Medicare Advantage Plan. It has to cover everything that Medicare covers, and it helps pay for that 20% original Medicare does not cover. So um, they tend to have low premiums or often no premium at all. And then when you use the medical services, you pay a copay. Medicare Advantage plans generally include a prescription drug plan as well, so it covers that Part D requirement also. And then the advantage of Medicare Advantage plans are that they also include medical services that original Medicare did not, such as dental, vision, hearing, physical, some other, the chiropractor, acupuncture, some of those things that were not part of original Medicare.
Okay, and then quickly, can you tell us some of the considerations that any particular person would have in regard to figuring out what they should do with a plan? So I know you were telling me some of the things to think about. Can you just review those quickly?
Sure. Medicare is individual, so it's based on what your particular medical needs are. So the first thing that I always look at is what prescription drugs are you taking, and are they included in the formularies of the plans that you have available to you? Once you've narrowed down what formularies are cover your prescriptions, then I would look at what medical doctors you see, and are they in the network or not. Once I have determined which plans fit all those criteria, then it's, do you go outside of the area? Do you like to travel? Do you stay for 3 months in Florida? And then what other services might you need, such as the vision, dental, hearing? Do you have a need for hearing aids, or do you have dental work that you have coming up? Those would be considerations.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Colleen. I really appreciate it. I have to say my disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. It does not establish an attorney-client relationship. Again, just putting out some educational tidbits. If you have any questions, of course, please reach out. This is Ruth George with Ruth P. George Law, PLLC, Trust and Estate Attorney. Make good decisions in regard to your Medicare options, and also think about what other estate planning you can do. Take care and see you on another video.